As part of our leadership team, we like to have focus on a certain area each month. And so today we talked a little bit about park maintenance in general, but we focused on playground maintenance, playground inspections, all that goes into the hazards related to playgrounds and the things we're looking for on a day-to-day basis and a monthly basis to make sure we have a safe environment. So if you'll notice all the bolts, especially on a newer playground like this, they don't actually poke out both ends, right? And they have these rounded caps that you can't theoretically get caught on. But what you would do with these gauges is you would start with the smallest size, which would be the pencil one. You would hold it up. Okay, well, it doesn't fit over that, right? So I got to go to the next gauge up, which is this one. It fits over it, but it doesn't poke out the end. So therefore it's not considered a hazard. The first thing we do is we look at mulching and surfacing and how often we have to come in and bring new mulch. And that's a very time consuming part of it, but it's not the most important part. The biggest thing we do is we come in monthly and we use some of the tools that I showed these guys today to take them and put them on physically on the playground and look at things like in openings of the entrapment hazards for kids' arms or legs. So things like this would be a torso trap. But as you can see, it doesn't fit all the way through the bars. Even though you can poke it in, it doesn't fit all the way through. So if your torso can't get through, your body can't get through. And if your body can't get through, it's not considered an entanglement issue. This deck is supposed to be flush with this and not have an opening. What happened is one of the arms underneath this broke. So now instead of going gliding back and forth, it goes on 3 axis. It goes both directions. Do we look at playground equipment like swings and slides? Do they have cracks? Do they have holes? Is there anything we can patch? Things like that. And again, we do that on a scheduled monthly basis. We also do it as those issues arise, right? We're in the parks doing a lot of other maintenance tasks, and we have a lot of people in the community that are in the parks as well, and they'll call us and tell us like, hey, I was just at so-and-so park and I noticed there was a hole in one of these things. If it's a small hole, we can repair it. We can put a patch on it and make it work. But when we get vertical cracks that run all the way down it, there's nothing we can do. And we get a lot in the winter, especially if you have a small crack that we've patched. If it let water in before we patched it and then it freezes in the winter, it'll break the whole slide. The most common things we have in the parks that break are right here. I replace 15 to 20 swing sets a year for this exact reason. People like to sit in them and then rip them out and they end up popping. So the ADA ones in particular they're more liable to have that happen because of the way that they secure in there. So this one, for instance, I've ordered 2 new swings here because both of these swings need replacing. We replace probably anywhere from 14 to 16 just individual swings a year. And it's a really high cost for some of the things, but for keeping us safe, it's well worth it. Any of these bolts were going the opposite direction and going up, they'd be a hazard. But they're all facing down, so it's not a hazard. I love what I do. We have myself as well as our crews are really highly qualified and passionate about playgrounds themselves. You see that with some of the recent renovations with the new playgrounds that have come in at Strauss Park and Garden City and other playgrounds across the city. And we're about to have 2 more come in with Belmont and Eastgate, where we'll have 2 more new playgrounds installed, and we'll work with manufacturers to make sure they're safe enough to code before they're open to the public. And we're just really passionate about giving kids a safe opportunity to play in our parks that's not just open space. It's designed play and stimulates cognitive development, physical development, and things like that.